Before we get into today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Open Doors, Open Mind YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook and now TikTok. Links to all will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's watch the episode.
Welcome to the show. What episode are we at?
32.
30, no.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I swear we're past that.
33, 34. But I do have some good news.
Okay, quick, before, like and
was just
subscribe
about
right
to
now.
do that
Oh,
bit.
is that what you're going to do?
Yeah.
Oh, what was is that what your good news was?
No. Well,
What?
kind of.
Because I wanted to like and subscribe and then hear your good news.
So that's what I'm saying. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
We've got up to 95 on the Open Doors, Open Mind on
See?
the YouTube
I
channel.
told you before Christmas we're 100.
Yeah. So it's going well. So please, guys, subscribe. The more people we can get this message out to, as you could probably tell from the first part.
You don't even have to watch it. You don't even have to just subscribe. Don't even watch it. It's fine. We'll get you in the end.
We are trying to structure it a little bit better in the sense of I want to be able to give people a voice of what's actually going on with mental health. We touch on subjects, but we're only giving it from our point of view, right?
Yeah.
So if there's people out there that want to come on and basically have a voice and basically get their story out there, or know somebody that wants to push them forward, because this is what it's truly about. It's not just about me and you talking about what your opinion and my opinion and how I'm going through mental health and all the different. It's about having lots of different opinions and the way people deal with mental health. It's not just obviously what works for me doesn't work for everybody else. Some of what works for me may work for other people, but not everything I do. That's the one thing I have learned on this journey, that lots of people deal with it in different ways. Like there's one person particularly that I would never have known. They're so confident, but when that door closes, they have to literally physically control everything about their mental health to get up, to get out. But you would think they're the most confident. It wasn't affecting them. And what they've been through, they're keeping everything to themselves. But obviously now, like I had Gail reach out to me this morning that she's having a moment, so I sent her my number, give me a call. And obviously not right now, would be good.
Call now. You can call in. We should have a call in.
Well, that's what I want to do as well, in the sense of if you don't want to physically be on camera, we can actually put you on here through a telephone so you can just have your voice. Peter, can we change the voice if they want to stay anonymous on their voice?
Do you mean like disguise it sort of thing?
Yeah.
Possibly.
There you go. That's the answer that we want to hear. Yeah.
See,
We'll see what we can do. I'll look into it.
but in the sense of if we got anybody that wants to have a conversation, we can do it through telephones. You don't have to physically. Hopefully, Peter can work out the bit where we.
Or they
change
could be
the
in the studio and they could just be on the other side and we can just talk to them and they're not shown.
Very
So they could be,
correct. Yeah,
they could
so
be
there's lots of different options. You don't feel like you have to be on camera and it has to be your voice. If you want to even change your name,
but it helps them and
But
it's a
it
lot
helps.
easier.
it's a lot easier if we can
Yeah,
have your
it's
name. But
Yeah.
but apart from that, how's your week been?
Oh, my dog hurt itself. Oh, there you go. Is she calling you now? I said don't call. There you go. This is the first time your phone has ever gone off. Do you need to take this?
No, it's Julian.
Oh.
We're talking.
Yeah, well, he knows we're talking about him.
That's quite.
That's what we
spooky,
do.
right?
Yeah, so my dog hurt is they've got like little claws on the side of their thing.
Little dew claws, yeah.
Thank you. People didn't know what they were, so I wasn't going to say that.
I
but
knew
yeah,
what it was.
okay. Well, you have dogs, so it's fine. And so yeah, so she's hopping along, and one of
How has she managed to hurt that?
I don't know, chasing squirrels. Yeah, it was bleeding, so we had to take it off. So she's fine. She's cool. She's just at home chilling. So hopefully not chewing. Don't chew your bandage. There you go. She had a cone on, but I had to take it off because there was no way.
Yeah, no, none of my dogs. It drove them nuts. Putting a cone on them. Not only that, one of the cones, we couldn't even fit round one of my dog's necks. It just physically wouldn't go round it. It was the largest
So
one.
putting one on you, yeah?
And the vet was like, oh. But the other thing I have noticed, if you've not put any more videos about you going to the gym, are you not doing that anymore?
Yeah, I'm not doing the videos anymore.
But you're still going.
I'm still running. I'm still going to the gym. Yeah, I'm just not putting them on anymore because I think I get this interactiveness from people, which is fine. I don't really mind that. But it got to a point and it's just like, I don't really like making other people feel terrible. Like if I go on holiday, I'm not a person to put my pictures up on Instagram.
Yeah, see, everyone says to me, "Oh, well, there's not much really on Facebook." You don't really post. I don't post on Facebook because I feel like it's, I don't know.
Depending what you want. Remember, it sounds stupid, but I've had the most adulation and press and stuff and blah blah blah. Pictures and papers and newspapers and whatever. I don't really care for it. I don't really have to get the adulation of likes and people to like it so they can see what I've been doing. Whatever. I honestly don't care. If you're my friend, you'll see me. I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. Otherwise, people just voyeur, looking at what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Sorry. Talking of friends and fans and all the rest of it of your life, Bernie hasn't quite said whether she'd say or not.
What do you mean?
Well, obviously, last week we said about Bernie being my fan as well.
Yeah.
If you left.
Yeah. Oh, the silence.
She just put smiley faces, laughing faces.
Yes, silence means no, she wouldn't watch it.
No, Bernie, you've got to put out a yes or a no, just so we can get over this.
Bernie, I'll do it for you. Again, no.
No, you can't speak for her.
I told you, I'm going to do Open Mind, Open Doors, so she watched that.
I need a fan.
You need a fan. Do you feel like you don't have a fan? Junior's your fan.
Well, clearly, he's obviously spying from...
See, why are you not caring about the fan that you have and only wanting other people's fans?
Oh, you have to... Why do you...
Yeah.
Well, I'm my number one fan at the moment after what you said to me last week.
Is what?
Like myself.
Yay!
So obviously, I know this normally comes at the end. The one thing after, pretty much taken on board what you said about liking yourself and bits and pieces. So I had a discussion with my son and bits and pieces, and he kind of went, similar path to what you're saying. Look, Dad, you can't control what's not in your control. You've just got to let what happens. So like obviously family situations, everything, all the mayhem, or as I call it, EastEnders kind of thing. He's like, Dad, it is. And his words was, "Is what it is," and I was like, "Yeah, I'll get it."
I wonder where he's got that from.
I wonder where you got that one.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But obviously,
how was that not on a t-shirt?
It is what it is. Somebody make me a t-shirt. But what, in the politest way, you can't control what's out of your control. You can,
but that's the problem is we try to,
and that as a humans, that's what we have to be in control rather than.
No, we don't. We're just telling ourselves we have to. We don't.
But you just ride the wave, and sometimes you end up where you least expected. And that's kind of what I've done since last week, kind of see where I end up. Like that phone call, literally, obviously what I shot out with. Obviously, I thought all doors were shut to me and the situation. And
for now. And then it changes.
No, like she just pointed out, she just said, look, no, Scott, we're here, we're willing to help you. And I was like, what?
Okay.
She said, yeah, we'll fill out the forms, we'll help you and do everything that needs to be done. And I'm like, what? But 18 months I've had it in the opposite direction. I thought, like, nobody cares. In the moment, I kind of like just...
Do you want people to care straight away, or do you want to wait for it? Because you have to wait for it.
Scott, you're the most important thing. But, like...
I mean, you are.
Sometimes the systems are broke, yeah? And it comes to a point where you're whacking your head against the wall. You can't get to anywhere. And just that little phone call kind of like, hang on. I'm not alone. You don't have to... The more I kind of listen to what you said and listen to what my son said, it's kind of just doing what needs to be done without trying to force it. It just kind of, you can't control the situation. Someone's now stepped forward that can control the situation and can help put it in the right direction. It's kind of do it. So I'm not stressing myself out about it. It is what it is. It's nothing I can do, right? But obviously you must feel the same with certain things that you've done. You're in control of certain things, but there's other things that you can't control, and you've just got to go with it.
You can actually ruin things by trying to take control of things that you don't have any control on and putting yourself into that light.
But I've done that pretty much, as long as I can remember. I've tried to control my environment, tried to control my relationships, how I see it, how I want people to see me, how I used to always get hung up on, especially in the last 2-3 years, people's opinion of me.
Yeah, you're doing it to yourself. Who cares? Who cares?
And that's kind of the point, is I don't care anymore.
Because everyone's opinion about someone else is always good and bad. Both. Every person.
Because obviously Bernie's your number one fan.
Yeah.
She cares everything you do.
Right.
right? But there's obviously the opposite end of the scale where you've got somebody out there that thinks he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Do you get
worse.
what I mean? But,
You know what I mean?
but me, I would have concentrated on the one that
No.
was, thinks he's an idiot. Well, I need to change his mind.
No. Never.
But that's how I would
Do you
have
know
done
the
it.
only people you can change people's minds on? So people are going to like you, and people are not going to like you. That's why we're like the 20% like, 20% don't like, right?
Mhm.
Well, the rest of the 60% don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
There is some sort of format. It's the only ones that you can be like, oh, and but you can't change it. They have to see it themselves. Like, oh, okay. And they can go in either camp.
Mm-hmm.
But majority of people, you are not important.
But you generally don't care about the camp that doesn't.
No.
But that's what I mean. Genuinely,
No.
knowing you for
Friends, family, work, couldn't give a shit. I couldn't care. I don't care. Because what is the point of me caring? Unless I'm physically doing something that is not great and I'm not taking the advice, right? If there's like actually not doing this is probably not helping. You're like, oh, okay, cool. But worrying about if you're liked is annoying.
Mhm.
And that would make me not like you from being indifferent.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I'm worried if you like me. I said, worried if you like me. Do you like me? I said, worried. No, I don't like you now. I was in the indifferent camp before.
And now you
You
kind of
didn't
made your own fit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like squeezing a spot. Probably just leave it and it'd be fine. But if you squeeze it, you're like, oh no, that's gone worse. Oh no.
Yeah,
God.
you've aggravated the
Yeah.
life out of it. Yeah, I get it. But it's taken me, I'm 41 years to work out. That's sad, right? It's taken me 41 years
No, and
to work it out.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's those. I know what you're doing. You're saying the whole, your life and stuff like that. That's fair. But I don't think that that's what it is. I think that you have a thing. I think that people, when they worry that people don't like them, they forget about all the people that they don't like. It's so funny. Like, you're like, I wonder why they don't like me. How could I make them like me? I wonder if that. But you don't think about all the people that you don't like and how indifferent you think about them. You're like, just don't like them. And that's it. And if they
Because
try
you
to
can
make you
generally
like
just
them
not
more,
like someone, you just don't gel with them.
you probably, either you don't know them,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need them, or they just don't blend to the person that you are. But actually, you should probably have some people in your life that are not the same as you and not into the same things and stuff like that, because it broadens your horizon. It's quite important that you have people that should be like, Scott, that's a stupid idea.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can take it and be like, oh no, crap, it is, isn't it? I thought it was an amazing idea, but it's rubbish. You're like, yeah.
Sit back and work it out.
Oh, you need people in your life to go, no.
Something's possibly in the pipeline for me, right? And my son was like, Dad, you used to get excited about stuff like that. I was like, yeah, but I've learnt my lesson.
No.
I learnt my lesson.
No.
Don't get too excited until it's over the line.
No.
Because I feel like, do you not feel like you can jinx something by getting too excited and it never happens and you met?
These are all just words that we give meanings to. I don't care. Like, another thing is, like, if things are happening and they're going well and they're leading up to going well and they don't go well at the end, I'd rather enjoy that wave and then fall off than never enjoy the wave and when I go across the line, like, oh, I should have enjoyed it when I was doing it, but I'm not. I'm finished it and I'm like, yay, but now there's no one else cheering because no one else is seeing you. Once you cross the finishing line, people are not clapping you as much as they are clapping you running. If you do a half marathon, people are clapping you running, and that can only be the first kilometer. People are like, well done, amazing. When you finish at the finish line, you're like, oh. And it was just like knackered around you.
Well, yeah.
You're not taking, you've got to take joy in the journey. Not the finish, not the ending, the journey. Because that lasts longer than any of the other stuff. That's when the music comes in.
Oh.
I'm back, baby. I've got a question for you because we had one last week. So, what is your breaking point? What is the thing that breaks you? And I don't want to know it. I just want you to think about it just for the second. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
You got it. Cool. It's in your mind right now. That is your breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you completely and utterly stop.
Mm-hmm.
What is your making point? Funny that. Straight away, bang, first one. How do we make you? And people are just like, I don't know. So what? Yet again, it's the same thing as the list about having yourself on it. If we don't know how to make you, but we only focus on how to break you, what is the point? Yet again, it's so boring. Like, we should know, like, what literally makes me so unbelievably happy. That is my making point. That's where I want to be. That's where I love, and it's achievable, and I feel great, and that's what it is. And I also know that if that happens and that happens, that's my breaking point. That's when I'm so sad.
But
and
isn't
down.
the
But
breaking point
both? I know both. And everything in between is the race. It's all the kilometers and all the miles that you have to do that journey to any destination. But it's always just doing that all the time. It's like a weird bouncy ball. Remember the game with tennis, like the first game that's ever existed. It's just a ball going back and forward and back. And that game never stops, like our life never stops. But you never know what literally makes you feel on top of the world. And you know how to get there. But everyone already knows what their breaking point is. I'm like, I don't know, I don't care. That's another thing. The investment in ourselves is at the lowest because we do it to ourselves. Because you don't care to find out what makes you happy, so you only focus on what makes you sad and trying to stay away from that. And if you focus on what makes you sad, I just watched something right now. If you're skiing and you're like, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, you're gonna hit a tree.
Mm-hmm.
But if you went, follow the path, keep going where the snow is, follow those people there, go. You've just changed. It's exactly the same thing of doing. But you're following just like, don't be depressed, don't be down, don't be da. Instead of going, actually focus on it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's happening to all of us, not just you. Every single one of us who were like, don't hit the tree every time. Don't mess up. And
so what you just asked me, do you know what is your breaking point and what's your...
Yeah.
And in the politest way, when did you work that out? What made you think of you had to work that out?
Because everyone seems to think about the worst thing all the time, but no one ever thinks about the best thing. And it's so weird because that is what my bloody podcast is called. And that's why we spoke about it through lockdown, because everyone was talking about the worst thing. And no one talks about the best thing. No one talks about it.
So what do you think is the best thing about mental health then? Because in the politest way...
What about in the sense of gaining a community of feeling that you're not alone? If you're the only gay kid at school and then you realize there's actually 7, you're not alone by yourself. You've got someone that you can actually talk to. If you have mental health problems and you think you're the only person who's gone through the same thing and you find out actually someone else lost their dad as well, and that's why you feel the way you feel because you lost yours, you're like, oh, I'm just like, can we talk? They're like, yeah, of course. You're like, oh my God, I love you because you've got trauma and you've got stuff that happened in your life so you understand. You know, I think... when we have these ideas, and I think the best thing about mental health is that it makes us connect, makes us understand ourselves. Because if there's no good to feeling shit, then no one would connect. A lot of people's stories, a lot of reason why people are shown to be caring is because you care for them in the darkest moments. More than you care for them when they're absolutely flying. Because you normally care for them when they're flying because you want a bit of their,
bit of their glory, right? And
yeah. I saw that happen a lot.
Yeah.
In
the politest way, I'd imagine you had that quite a lot.
Yeah, loads. And then you watch them drop.
Yeah, as soon as you're not on top form.
Oh, you watch them go. They're gone. They're gone to someone else. I see it all the time. You know.
Oh, we're back. We're not back.
It's fine. Don't worry about that. So I just feel like when I said about the list of liking, and I did a talk. I went to a school the other day, and again, how many were in the class? 50? 60? Not one of them were on their own list. Not even in mine. Not even if I said 10. 10 people you like, 10 people you love. I guarantee they wouldn't be on their own list. But they might be now. Because they've never been told it. If you get told it.
Until last week.
If you get told it, like... And it's so weird because I watch videos all the time. And I try not to paraphrase or try not to take too many things. If I say, the story about the skiing... I just watched it just there. But this situation of me saying, what's your breaking point, what's your making point, is the thing that I thought about. Is a thing that this list was a thing I thought about. Because I was just like, whoa. Because I literally wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like...
I can definitely imagine that if you... yeah.
I do it in music, I do it with everything. That's how I've always worked.
So do you not think everyone should kind of have a making and breaking point? As you know, like you'd fill out your diary kind of thing. Not that I've ever filled out one, but in the sense of it's kind of like a checklist that everybody, because that's not taught, is it? In the sense of how, if you think about when you was at school, you were taught how to read, you were taught, but nobody in the politest way taught you how to do exactly what you just said. Work out what's better, what's worse. Nobody's kind of giving you the skills to recognize what you should be doing with your mental health, and that you are going to have low points and you are going to have, but like you just said, guarantee you, even in the primary school, and if
That's where I was. If I say right now one thing you like about yourself, do you know how many times I hear nothing? I hear every single.
But why
class.
is that?
It's a cultural thing. It's a
Because
cultural thing.
every person's the same like that.
I think if I did the talks in America, they'd be like, 1 second. Okay. But I think it's a cultural thing. I think you might think it's worse here, but actually it's actually worse in Scotland, or it's worse in Ireland, stuff like that, because you're not supposed to be seen as special.
But do you not think the schools should be having teaching about mental health and how to, giving you the tools, so I suppose in the future that you know that you're not alone and you can deal with it? Like you're taught how to, well, when I was at school, you're taught how to do like a checkbook. Nowadays they don't, because all right, checkbooks don't exist as much as they did
but
then.
we talk about bank
life
accounts.
skills in the sense of, I'm trying to say mental health skills that can.
I think they are taught. I just don't think we know. I mean, in the sense you have kids, but I think that you're taught sex education at school, but you really find out about sex through your friends. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's the same as this. They might talk about it broadly, but you figure it out by hopefully someone in your friendship group or the people around you. You only have to have 3 people in your group.
Yeah, but you must have skills. Like I've got certain things that I do, like when I'm feeling, ooh, okay, I'll go and do certain things because somebody gave me the knowledge and showed me a direction. Well, try that one, see if that one worked. Yep, well, that worked, but that didn't. I've kind of got what I call a toolbox of stuff that I can turn to when I'm having mental health problems or whatever you want to call it. I know how to pull myself out of it and go to the positive rather than. But I find most people that haven't got what I call a toolbox. And what I'm trying to say is at schools, to work out, like I play strategy games to occupy my mind so my brain doesn't overthink. I do certain, so like meditation, everyone thinks,
Why do you think kids are on their phones? Why do you think kids are playing computer games? Why do you think kids are watching Netflix and binging? They're doing exactly the same thing. They just hadn't spoken about it in that way, but that's what they're doing. They're distracting themselves. That's what I do.
But people don't recognise it, do they?
If I did, sometimes you don't need to. The focus on stuff is not always the thing. Think about your mental health. Think about your mental health. Think about your mental health. It's the same as don't hit that tree, don't hit that tree, don't hit that tree, don't hit the tree. Sometimes you're like, I don't want to think about anything. I literally just want to switch off. And that's how I live like day to day. My main thing is distraction. It's so important. It's so important. Because as soon as you start overthinking, you're done.
Because you're doing it to yourself in the politest way. You're doing it to yourself.
Well, there's a Radiohead song. Literally says you do it to yourself.
You're doing everything to it. Do you think there's anybody out there?
No.
Anybody? Or do you think every single human being in this world has mental health?
Yes.
As in mental health problems sometimes in the sense of...
How could you not? Everyone is going to experience death of someone they love. Everyone.
Yeah.
Straight away. They could have been your confidant, the only person you spoke to, the only person that you really got on with in your family or friends or whatever. Like every single person is going to... There you go. So if you're going to have that, and then everything, everyone's going to get bullied. I asked this wonderful question at school. It's so funny because all the kids feel really proud about this. I always say, I think I spoke about this before. I say, put your hand up if you've ever been bullied. You should see them put their hands up. It's everyone. Everyone's been bullied, okay? Everyone's like, got their hands up. They're like, I have. Maybe a few that don't, right? Then I changed and they were like, cool. Put your hand up if you've ever bullied anyone.
Nobody puts their hand up.
Well, maybe like 3.
Really?
Yeah.
What, they're actually brave enough to do it?
Well, how can everyone in that class be getting bullied, but there's no one that is bullying? It's crap. You know what I mean? It's rubbish. And then I say, whoa, sorry. I actually didn't finish the question. Put your hand up if you ever bullied anyone, including your brothers and sisters. And everyone's like, oh. I was like, cool. So you know what it's like to be bullied, and you know what it's like to bully. This is this thing that we always do it. And we always think that we're the victim until we realize that we're not just the victim. We are mean too. And we bully someone. Mm-hmm. And if we bully someone, that person goes on and they bully someone. And then that person goes on and then they bully someone. And what I implore anyone to do, if you're strong enough, I can never stop you from getting bullied. I can't. Never going to happen. No matter what discussion I have with the other person or with you, whenever, if you're going to be a victim, you're going to be a victim, and this person thinks they're stronger than you or can easily get a reaction from you, they're going to do it, okay? I can never stop it. But what you can do is you could not bully the next person. You might just have to take it. You might just have to be the person who is the cannon fodder for anyone else stood behind them. And I always say, if you choose not to bully the next person, and the person next to you also chooses not to bully the next person, hold their hand. And then you realize someone's held your hand the other side. And then pull them in. And there's a barrier. And everyone stood behind that barrier pretty much won't get bullied. Because the people in front of them refuse to bully someone because they're getting bullied. And it's just a mind thing. Everyone thinks, whoa, that's not fair. No. I know it's not fair. I never said it was fair. I never said this life is fair. You're either born into riches or you're born into poverty or you're born in this country or this country. You're born male, you're born female, you're born in the middle. Like, nothing is fair. It just is. But if you take, it on and saying, okay, this person's going to be horrible to me for as long as I'm in their vicinity, but I'm not going to pass it on. Think how many people are not going to be feeling the way they're feeling. But because, and this is simple, it's about being in your car, you're having a shit day, and someone does something in their car opposite you, and you're like, why are you, no, what the, you're shouting at them, completely the wrong people. But imagine you went, no, it's okay, it was an accident, it's fine, you keep going, fine, do it. You're calm. You never made them not calm. They were like, oh, okay. Because you could have, the first version, if you made them have the worst day now, they already are having it. And now you're screaming at them because they made a mistake because they're not thinking properly. But if you just went, no, it's okay. We all do it. Don't worry. Go. Don't worry about it. You're calm. And you never made them angry. So they don't go home and they don't have an argument with their partner. Or kick their dog. Or shout at the waiter or when they go to the post office, whatever. Like, they didn't do that because you stopped it. You took it in. You went, it's okay. We all do it. We've all not looked the right way, or we went to go and you went to go and blah, blah, blah. You being annoyed about this stuff, and I know this is our kind of DNA, but you can literally make someone's life easier by just taking it. And I feel like people's mental health, we like to share it and make you feel like shit too.
In the politest way, everyone likes the attention for when you're the victim, right?
I do not. I never have. Even on the show when I was depicted in whatever way, I never spoke back.
Yeah, but you didn't start in life like that though, did you?
Yeah. Well, but, things get to me. And do you know what I do, Scott? When things get to me, when people are around me that I feel like you just don't bring niceness to my life, I feel like, have a good one, but you're not on my journey anymore. I don't care who you are. I don't care how long you've been around. See ya. Mm-hmm. Nothing bad. Let's not even have an argument about it. Let's just stop. Our paths might cross another time and we might need each other another time, but maybe we've known each other for 12 years, 15, 25 years. That's cool. We have some great times.
So you've been like that since what? Like as a child?
No, mate. I have a fucking monster inside me. I'm mental. I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. But he's asleep most of the time because I put in protocols. But like, no. It's all right. You're right. You know what I mean? But if I put myself in situations that wakes him every time, So I'm like, no, okay, stay away from
You
those.
take yourself out of the situation.
Oh my God, yeah.
So how did... Right, because the only reason I
Every
know
day.
what you're talking about and can relate to it because of... I've been to the dark place or dark time or whatever you want to call it. But I can relate to that. As in, I think every person's got that demon, whatever, the nasty bit in them. Everybody has.
Yeah, I think Jordan Peterson literally says, everyone has a monster. It's about you controlling it. That's the only thing that's important is you controlling your monster inside. Big or small. You have to be in control. Do not let them out.
I call it keeping it in the biscuit tin. Keeping him in the biscuit tin.
Cool.
Because there's a moment I let him out of the biscuit tin, I don't know if I can get him back in again.
Well, I've eaten all the custard creams. That's why I don't have them in the biscuit tin. But I think that we're all stronger. We are all braver. But I think one of the things is that we all love attention, and right now, attention is saying something is going wrong. But for as loud as you may say it, the quieter the people who really, 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 really need you. You will never hear their voice because they're like, Scott, I need your help. And someone's going, Scott, I need you. Oh God, I'm having a terrible day. But someone's like, okay, they're a bit louder than me. Oh. You will never see them. That's why I always talk to the quiet kids at the end. Always talk to the quiet kids. The kids that said nothing. Because the kids are like, oh yeah, I know the answer. Yeah, I know that. They don't need me. They need me. They're fine. The ones that literally say nothing, you got to notice them. You have to. It's so easy not to, though.
Oh yeah, because it's...
I only know naughty kids' names. You know what I mean? The quiet kids, I have no idea. No, nothing. And they're making themselves invisible as well. On purpose, maybe.
Because it's easier sometimes, is it not? Just to...
Maybe you don't know the answer. Maybe you don't have a clue, of how to share your feelings, or everyone else is just louder than you, so what's the point?
So do you go from week to week as in something, do you do something for yourself purposely? Whether the rest of the world would see it as selfish, you do it for yourself. Because I don't think a lot of people, I didn't do that until this is last week really, for myself.
I keep my house tidy. I make my bed. I walk my dog. I make sure there's food in the cupboard.
That's not for yourself though, is it?
Yeah, it is, because one of the things is, with all of those things, when I come home, I'm proud of what I've got and what I've made and what I'm doing and the structure, and that I've done this many park runs, because I get up on a Saturday and I don't care how I feel. I'm up. I'm at that park. We're doing park run. I don't care what my time is. I've got an idea. I was like, I want to do 50 park runs before this time. I'm going to do it. There's no way I'm not going to do it. Okay? And this thing that we keep on just doing with our minds and our ideas, like, we want to change the world before even fixing your own fucking life? No. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. Like, make sure you're in order, and then you can try and fix everything else. But if you're chaotic, and you don't care about you, and you're not on your own list, full circle. What's the point?
Yeah, you can't break out of it. You're literally just going round and round in circles.
Mate, that's life, though.
Yeah, the world is round, I suppose. Unless you're one of these that thinks the world's flat.
But even if they do, that's fine, because for a long time, that was the truth.
For a long time, it was the truth.
For the majority of human beings being on this planet, they have thought it was flat. It's very recent that we've known it to be a sphere. It's not actually really round. It's kind of more... The atmosphere makes it more...
So it's not a perfect circle then?
No, it's not.
Ooh, are you sure? Because there's going to be people out there.
No, you can have a look.
So we
That's
get some decent comments
fine.
will be the people when we talk about it.
Well, that's cool. That's antagonistic, isn't it? But it's not a perfect sphere, because if you actually look at most planets on the moon and stuff like that, none of them have atmospheres. Really, to be honest, we're like the only one that has an atmosphere. So most of the sphere of it is more like the atmosphere of the globe, because we're actually more rocks and stuff like that, and we're kind of more eggy, shapy sort of thing. But we're moving, so it's an optical illusion as well. Am I saying too much stuff?
Just you, innit? It's just.
Can you imagine?
I
being
could chuck
in my
anything
brain?
at you and you'll know it.
No,
Or you'll have an opinion
no.
on
I'll
it.
have an opinion.
That's what I mean.
don't know.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. No.
Just dinosaurs.
What about them?
What do you think about them?
I think the thought about dinosaurs is that we like to put them all together. So
Yeah.
we go like Jurassic Park, right? And we put all these dinosaurs like Triceratops and a T-Rex and a raptor. You know the raptors in the film.
Mm-hmm.
In real life, what we know of and the fossils that we found, they are the size of like a badger, but that's not scary. So he made them bigger, so that they never existed.
What?
I know.
What? So hang on. Right, because obviously I'm watching something on Netflix. It's about
Ancient Apocalypse.
yes. Is that the one in? It's not. It's like 9,000. We've gone back 7,000.
Yeah.
You watching it as well?
Mate, I listen to all of his talks, man, all the time. Yeah, they think it's 12,000 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and obviously
12,800.
the hill that they thought was just a hill
Yeah,
is
yeah.
actually a
There's more
pyramid,
stuff, yeah,
and there's
yeah.
bits and pieces. But do you not think then?
I think it's longer than that.
Do you not think that we should have learned, if it is go that far? Surely we should have learned not to destroy everything, our mental health and love ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Why have we not worked that out?
Because the evidence kind of gets lost. So we've only been here. If we think about Jesus, right? We think, oh my God, that was a long time ago. No, we're talking about things that are 12,000 years ago.
Before him.
Yeah, exactly. So we think, like, even if we just think of the 18th century, that was like 200-300 years ago. Like, loads of that stuff has disappeared. The stuff that we made has eroded, doesn't exist anymore. You bet 10,000 years on that, on what we have now, none of this is here.
But our mental health is what I'm trying to say to you.
Oh, well, because no, we were running away from this craziness. Like, you know, the problem is that I said this before, we are just so unbelievably lucky. We live in the most, and that's why we can go to like Sainsbury's and be like, oh, they're
There's
out of
nothing.
coriander.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even get coriander. You're like, well, just get something else. Get some dill or something like that. No, that's what I want to. Like, how
You don't understand, I
How
need it.
spoiled are you?
Yeah.
Because that coriander has come from, I don't know, Argentina. Like, what?
Yeah, it's
But
like
we
your
could just go to
world's
the
over.
shop. We had COVID and the shop was still open. The shop was still open. Mate, we're so lucky. We could do online orders. We can watch Netflix. We can watch Amazon Prime. And we can, you know what I mean? We can watch films. We've got Sky. We've got TV in every room. We got washing machines. We've got fridges. We've got freezers. We got all this stuff. And we're still like, oh my fuck. Right, do you know what? Get rid of it all then. Get rid of it all. Go.
But yeah. I just don't understand how, as a species, we can't.
Because we like sitting in our own soup of puke and piss and shit and complaining about it.
It's
Love
that's kind of what we've made, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the only time you get attention is when your life's shit, or there's it's a tragedy, or that's the only time people seem to listen.
I guarantee if I got into anyone's life, like if you went to a supermarket right now and someone's really unhappy about their body type, yeah, I could be like, because of this, what's in your trolley? You could easily see it. You'd be like, well, the reason why you don't have the body you want is because you have this.
Mm-hmm.
So I could change that for you. Do you want me to do that? They'd be like, no.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing.
I get it.
I could change all the things that I think that I would to make you happy and to give you what you wanted and the best peace of mind and stuff like that. But there will be some places you'll be like, I don't want to do that, and I'm like, well, that's what you have to do. And they're like, well,
You've taken away my freedom.
yeah, good,
Yeah.
good, because you're with your own freedom is shit. So why don't we take it and make it better? And you can complain about that, but at least you can just complain about us instead of yourself. Isn't that better? I'm not saying to dictate, and I don't want any governments to tell us what to do or anything like that. But at the same time, sometimes maybe better. All of my friends and stuff like that have got married and had kids and then got divorced and all that stuff, and my relationships that I've been in, blah, blah, blah. After a while, I'm like, mate, someone else should choose for me because it seems like I'm shit.
I keep picking the crazy ones.
Well, or they keep on picking me or whatever it is. But we're doing this thing of just like, oh, I've got a feeling.
Would you say you were the
love
crazy
and
one?
stuff like that. Yes. More difficult.
That takes a lot for someone to say that.
Oh yeah, no,
Do you know what I mean?
I'm quite difficult. I think my friends understand and what who I am as a person. Like I'm quite passionate and quite I'm thoughtful. Like I said, if you've got a big heart, then you're most likely to get an arrow through it because it's easy to hit. So I'm not easygoing. My brain is always on and stuff like that. But I think what people should always do. I've said this about cleaners actually, and if I was a cleaner, the first thing I'd ever ask is just like, what do you want me to prioritize in your house cleaning wise, and not just clean? Because if I just clean, guess what? I'm not probably doing prioritizing any things that you find important that you don't want to do that I can do for you. But what's happening is in life, we're not prioritizing the things that make us feel good. We're just kind of just trying to do things that are good, and they're like, well, that didn't work. But no. What is the priority of what you want? And that's what we will do. Mm-hmm. If people just did that, I feel like we'd feel a lot better. If people go, right, I know how to not, in my relationship with, as a friend or in a relationship with anyone I've been out with, I'd be like, what is the protocols of not making them happy? Cool, stay away from that. What makes them happy? Cool, I'll do that. If we just had that, instead of like, oh no, the things I know what doesn't make them happy, I'm going to lean into that and I'm going to use it as my power and I'm going to hurt them really badly when they hurt me. No. Yet again, it's back to the holding hands, pulling in. If you get bullied, if you get treated like shit, don't give it back. If someone cuts you up in the car, don't shout at them. Be like, it's okay, go. Because you are stopping it. Mm-hmm. Don't make it carry on because you feel like, well, that's life and that's fair. Life isn't fair. You can stop it. It might happen to you, but you can stop it to happen to another person. And I think that should be more important. You might have to take the shit.
Shit only rolls downhill, right?
Well, does it? I guess it doesn't roll uphill. That's not the plan.
Well, they've actually, obviously, on Facebook the other day, someone actually got a picture of a bear shit in the woods, so that answered that question. Oh.
Anyway, any words of wisdom before we carry on any longer? Because it's quite a lot, isn't it?
Only, obviously, what I said earlier in the sense of...
It's what it is.
No. It is what it is, but in the sense of you can't control everything. Let life be.
That's a good one. Like that. Let life be. Just let life be.
That's kind of what I've stuck with the last week, and it seems to... I don't know. I don't know if I feel happier or... I don't feel sadder. I don't feel...
Where do I want you most of the time? I want you 6%.
Yeah, it's not like, it's a life-changing thing, or God it's knows. Just that little... Kind of just doing something for myself. I want to do it. Do it. I want to eat that. I'll eat that.
Yeah.
There's
consequences to all of the things that we do.
Yeah.
So,
But I'm kind of not taking it. Okay. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it didn't. And that's what I'm trying to say.
Try and take away emotion from the most emotional places, I think. If you can try and do that, you'll be happier. That isn't my thing. I heard this from someone else, actually. They said, imagine the person you could be if you focus for 1 year. So you focus on your diet, you focus on your relationship, you focus on your life, you focus on you. Imagine the person that you would be. Now go and do it. Start now. Because you're never going to regret that you were like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to focus on playing the guitar, right? In 1 year's time, and you focus on it, you do it every day. Even get a teacher in, right? Are you going to regret that in 1 year? No.
No, of course not.
You'll be like, mate, I could halfly play the guitar. That's quite cool. Or, you did your diet that you wanted to do. You did the gym sessions you wanted to do. You did learn a new trade or whatever. And you focus on that for a year. Like, you're never going to regret it. And there's going to be some tough parts in that. And you'll be like, I'm frustrated. Tough. See who the person you can be if you just focus on something for a year. It could be life-changing. So there you go. Write something down. Just one thing. And focus on that. And see how far you fly. And when I say focus, I mean focus. It's priority. So if it's on your relationship, or it's on you learning a skill, if it's on you getting the body that you want or whatever, for the age that you are, because remember, don't look at 21-year-olds when you're 57. That's mental. Well, they probably are going to. But you know what I mean? That's body type sort of situation. You can really, really push yourself further than you ever, and you'll learn so much in that time. My God. You'll learn so much about you and others and how people treat you and whatever. Have that focus. Trust me. you'll be like, wow. Even if it's to teach a dog tricks, on Britain's Got Talent, and who cares? Just focus on it.
What about you, Peter? You've been a bit quiet this time.
Because I haven't shut up, that's why. There's no space. He's waiting for the breaths to stop, but it's fine. Go on, Pete.
Well, if I was going to focus on one thing for a year, I reckon 'cause my son's just started learning the drums. I want to get him to a good level, so like in a year's time, he'll be a good drummer, if you see what I mean.
Like that. See, yeah, again, it doesn't have, because the joy of what he's getting is through someone else, but he's also putting in that effort. And because how old your kid?
6.
Yeah, so perfect time to do that. Number one, they're still sponges.
Very much so.
Yeah, I like that.
So how are we going to wrap it up today, then?
Let's talk about the World Cup. I'm joking. Come on, England! Woo! 6-2. Loving that.
Is that what it was? 6-2?
6-2.
I walked past it. It was 3-0.
And everyone's just like, oh, yeah, but they're only playing Iran. I was like, Iran is in the top 20 of countries on the World Cup. So,
But in a politest way, a win's a win, right?
yeah, you can only win what's in front of you. People are like, oh, well, they weren't even that good. You're like, what?
But if we lost to Iran, Iran was so good, and they're so there's the top 20, or you lost because they're top 20.
It's been good, though. And I think the...
So you're watching Friday, then?
I've watched every match. Now, I'm right here. I'm getting literally itchy feet just watching. I've recorded it, so.
What? England's not playing today? I thought England were playing.
Mate, I watch every match. I'm not messing
other
around.
countries you're talking about?
Yeah. It's only on every 4 years. Why would I not watch every match? I know, I'm crazy. Though I'm glad I did miss the ending of this, the latest match. But anyway, yeah, it's good. It's good.
You actually get excited.
Yeah, because
unless it's England, I can't really.
Yeah, I know, of course. But remember, I used to be a football coach and like learning stuff and blah, blah, blah. It's great. There's things in there. There's things for mental health stuff in there as well. There's camaraderie. There's hugging someone next to you when you score a goal that you don't even know. But it doesn't matter how you're feeling in your life. In that moment is euphoric and you're like, oh my God, can you believe it? I don't know. You know what I mean? Or they're holding onto someone and, their friends or family around them. Like those moments are so important. As much as the other moments that make you feel good too. Like, it's so strange, but it's when people achieve their goal, no pun intended, it's great.
And that's a good way to end the show. Achieve your goals for 1 year.
Wow. There you go. Good luck. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Subscribe.